We live.
What's up?
We didn't get canceled. That's a good thing.
It's because you're pretty pathetic.
Hey, people don't have high expectations nowadays. They listen to us and watch Logan Ross matches.
That's a marathon.
It's charity. When they grab people and like torture them and shit, they just make them watch Duffy promos. Wow. Uh, episode 2. What do you guys want to talk about kicking off the
I
show?
got that today. How you doing? Hello.
Oh, someone's dinner showed up.
I guess we're gonna
Yeah,
start with
hi.
let's start with Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton.
Bobby's favorite, Charlotte Flair.
What are you talking about?
We're gonna start off with the debacle that was Charlotte Flair and Tiffany last week.
It wasn't a debacle.
That was a fucking debacle. That was a shit show.
So, according to Tiffany, Charlotte was going into a little bit of business of her own, and she had to stand up to Charlotte, and that's why she threw out the 0-3 comment.
Fucking gunshots out there. Like, god damn.
What I don't understand, if Charlotte was okay a few years ago with Paige bringing up her brother, why was this so, get Charlotte so rattled?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think she really had a choice because that was Vince's WWE. So
I
it
mean,
was really Vince's way or the highway.
yeah, but Charlotte was also rattled by Chicago. She couldn't even get for someone who's been in the business for so long. She should not be rattled by the crowd giving her shit.
To be fair, what's that pinging sound?
That's my volume. Whenever there's a notification, because I have my Facebook's open and shit.
Be close to this shit. That's what I do. Shit.
There's a difference between knowing that somebody's gonna bring up something and then being ambushed by somebody and blindsided by them. That's the difference. Also, you gotta also understand that Charlotte didn't get a word in edgewise. She couldn't get a word in because they were treating her like Dominic and booing her.
Yeah, but she's a heel. She's supposed to be booed.
Motherfuckers just be sensitive like that, man.
But she wasn't. But she was. I don't think she was expecting to not be able to get a word in.
She
Yeah,
wasn't
but
expecting
I
to
feel
go the fuck away, Heat.
I feel she's been there long enough to be able to control the crowd, even when she's getting booed out of the building.
No,
Maybe she's just not as good as you think she is.
thank
Wow,
you.
I don't think.
I've been saying that.
It could be that. Maybe
I
she's
have
just not
always,
as good as we think she is.
I have always said for years that Charlotte adds to a program she's in, but ever since she's back, that's completely changed because I thought her against Tiffany was going to raise Tiffany's stock. I thought it was going to raise this title match to be bigger, and it's honestly one of the worst matches that are coming out to WrestleMania this year.
You don't even know that the match could steal the show.
Oh, the match is probably going to be good. Like, I don't fault. I don't think that's match wise. It's not an issue. Build wise, it's been the second worst behind the other women's title match.
Well, I should say the anticipation, not necessarily that the match itself is going to be bad, but it's not a match I'm like excited to see. So I should word it slightly different. I'm not trying to say that the match itself is going to be bad, but of the list of all the matches that are there, it's not one that I'm looking forward to, that I'm excited about, that I'm invested in. So let me make it that way.
The whole card. What the hell are y'all doing?
I'm not doing anything.
The whole
Everything
card.
on my end's silent.
The whole build is down.
Do you think that's
Yeah,
because there was too much expectation after last year that everyone thought it was going to be like gangbusters?
No, this always happens. I knew it was going to be shitty.
the way you sold your tickets.
No, it's too high.
They're
Well,
dropped down
no.
now.
The
No.
Mania, because no one's because they're trying to turn it into like the Super Bowl where like fans can't really go and it's really all like celebrities and corporate people.
Here's the problem. I've been watching for a long time. It ebbs and flows. WrestleMania 17 was the greatest pay per view of all time. Then WrestleMania 18 came, and the build was down. What was another good WrestleMania? Other besides
30?
30, 31 was down. What
So
was
I thought
another
30
one?
was a good build.
30 was a good build. 31 was down. So I mean,
31, well, 31 I give an excuse to because wasn't 31 the
Hollywood.
no, that was 32. Never mind. 32
So
was the injury year where like everyone was out.
so like I mean it's WrestleMania. I mean at the end of the day I'm still gonna get excited for it. It sells itself. I just
It's
I
gonna
mean
deliver.
yeah, I mean they're booking the matches. They're booking the matches like they did like they weren't finalized like until 2 weeks beforehand.
Like Rey Mysterio versus El Grande
Exactly.
or Chad Gable.
I know. He got screwed over again.
20 was what was the 21? 21 build was JBL, Cena, and Batista, Triple H, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 20. We don't talk about 20.
Yes, we do.
I can't talk about that ending.
Well, first off, you didn't even watch it live, so what are you talking about?
No, I didn't. My first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 22.
So how the hell do you know what you're talking about, young buck?
You know, there is something called archives you can watch. Go
But
back and watch.
it's a different feeling when you watch it live.
Yeah. I mean, now we go back and watch it's Eddie Guerrero just hugging the World Heavyweight Championship and nothing there.
Wait, he's
Very
hugging
weird.
John Cena. What are you talking about?
But no, no, you can't pull the "oh you're too young" kind of thing. Like internet works, Grandpa.
It's a different feeling. Brandon knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
It was a different feeling when it was live and we was watching it live.
What was your first WrestleMania, Bobby?
His was the
Mm.
wrestling classic.
It was
Tuesday in Texas, baby.
It was 14.
Wow. I'm such an old head.
It
His
was
was
4.
Bruno Sammartino's debut.
Three.
I
Three.
used to watch it on I used to watch it on Saturday mornings with my dad, and then I got out of it. And then my dad was such a huge Mike Tyson fan that that's why they rented like all his buddies from work rented it was because Mike Tyson. They didn't even like wrestling. It was because Mike Tyson was going to be on the card. And then to tell you the truth, I actually started watching WCW first. I mean, I was watching like in '97. I was watching WCW, and I would like flip to WWE, but back then they were cussing and they were so vulgar. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch WCW. But then, it was one of those things where you just catch on. You started watching it, and WCW started sucking, and I was like, oh. And Austin took off, I found, and I would watch the first hour of WCW, then turn it to USA at 8 to watch WWE.
I started watching in 1985,
I'm sorry.
and I didn't start watching WCW until 1990. My first WCW pay per view I ever watched was Sting and the Black Scorpion.
Women even have rights when you start fucking watching.
They couldn't vote.
Oh, Ron Simmons was a world champion yet either. So you've been watching longer than there's ever been a black world champion.
Yes, because he didn't win until 91 or 92.
Fucking
92.
old ass motherfucker. See, Bobby, you're finally not the oldest.
I'm not the oldest.
You always were between me, you, and Duffy.
No, but I've been. Well, first off, this is a fucking tripod. Okay, there's not a fourth.
Yeah, old. Yeah, mine's was 22.
That horrible ass.
WrestleMania 22. I
Horrible
thought that
ass.
was a good show.
That shit sucked.
They had a 3 years. They had a 4 year stretch of like good shows, and then 26, aside from Taker Michaels, was kind of a shit show, and then 27 is one of the worst WrestleManias in my lifetime.
Was that The Miz?
That was Miz, Cena, Lawler, Cole.
I look back at the time. I look back at the time. I was like, thank God I was in the army because I couldn't watch this shit. That was a really long time that I had missed it. I missed 27, 28. I was getting out of the army, and I had just got cable like a week after WrestleMania.
You know, if Josh is going to use a hashtag, he should at least spell it right.
We Aunt Duffy.
Aunt Duffy.
Duffy don't even ain't us. Duffy's right now chilling in Abu Dhabi, getting ready for his next booking. What else? Yeah. No.
Can we just get to the fucking shit show already? Can we get to the main event? Can we just get to the main event?
I mean Booker T Swerve Part 2.
No.
Are we talking Dynasty?
You leaving that one alone?
Dynasty.
AEW Dynasty.
I wore my AEW merch for this conversation.
You didn't even watch the show.
I told you, you don't have to watch the entire show.
You do.
You literally have to just be on AEW.
Dude, that's so wild.
You gotta watch it live to feel.
You gotta watch it live.
I was watching it live as they posted it.
You weren't.
To feel the disappointment.
No, you weren't.
You know how bad.
I ain't paying $50 for that shit.
We would put something. You don't have
VPN,
to.
It's like 30.
You get a VPN, and you literally go from Spain.
Well,
I saw. Last Sunday.
I've seen enough of it to be able to discuss it.
Nope. You gotta like sit there, like literally watch it, and then think to yourself, "Why am I a fan of this shit?"
You have to experience the disappointment when the lights go out and forget that you're watching AEW and thinking the Undertaker's going to come out. And
you
it's
gotta go through
fucking
the
Young
stages of grief.
Bucks.
Or as they were called last night, Young Cucks.
No.
I don't. No.
You can't. No. To experience the shit show of last week, you had to have watched that live.
Maybe Greg's not busy. Maybe we could discuss this with Greg.
Greg. Is Greg even in the fucking comments?
No.
Greg hates everything, though. He had never seen anything positive about anything.
Yeah, but you know what? He wasn't far off about AEW.
Well, I think what's worse than what happened in the main event is the follow-up last night made absolutely no sense.
It never makes sense. The show never makes sense.
I mean, it's clear that the Young Bucks takeover storyline failed with Okada, where they were trying to it seems to me like they pivoted from the Young Bucks, Okada, and Jungle Boy running the show because it was failing, and so then they went to the Death Riders, and the Death Riders that's failing. So now
no, actually, it's not. If you ask Tony Khan, they did their highest rating since November.
No,
for the Moxley Cope match.
No,
that's the justification right there for him.
Oh, you talking about with the extra $500,000 that watch on Max every week?
Yep, more people watch on Max than on cable now.
The Death Rider storyline is just it's old. It's
Shit sucks.
What makes it ass?
They never gave a
So,
motivation to
let's-
what the Death Riders are doing.
There's
about
no
it?
motivation. Let's really kick off to like where, like they just randomly show up on like Collision. I remember this one specifically. They're on Collision and they're about to pour antifreeze down Orange Cassidy's throat before FTR jumped in to save him. Like, let's save AEW, but the motherfuckers are trying to commit first degree.
I mean, the Death Riders have been doing freaking attempted murder since day one. That's how they formed. When they moved from the BCC
What
to
are
the
we-
Death Riders, they try to
What
kill
are we
Danielson.
doing?
Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
He gone.
They tried to kill Danielson. That's how they formed. They've been doing attempted murder since day one. But they never gave proper motivation to what the Death Riders doing. The NWO, they were taking over. They were going to take over WCW. Freaking, there's no motivation from the Death Riders. There's no solid story to A, B, and C why they're doing what they're doing. The closest explanation is that they want whoever beats Moxley to be able to step up. What does that even mean?
Like, who? So the issue at the end of the day, it's just not good, and it's pretty much a recycle taken times 10 of just stupidity of the elite trying to take over AEW from Tony Khan, which that had no real end game because they dropped that immediately. So at least like with this one, a lot of people hate the Death Rider shit, but like Mox winning Sunday was not the issue. Because we all knew he was not dropping in a dynasty. It was likely going to be all in. If
I
it goes
thought there was
beyond all in, then we have bigger issue here.
I thought there was a chance with the end of last week's episode when they did the whole thing between Hangman and Swerve. But now it's like, again, the Bucks showed up. They pulled a Rikishi, said they did it for Hangman, but they still want to make a deal or because they're scared of the Death Riders. It's so convoluted. It makes no sense. They should have been the ones behind the Death Riders because then that at least that attaches to what the Elite were doing when they attacked Tony Khan because they wanted to take over AEW to put it in how their vision. So they should have been the one pulling the strings for the Death Riders for the last 4 months they've been off TV.
There's none of the storylines right now make any sense. You're about to blow off Athena versus Mercedes Moné because you want to jerk yourself for passing WCW Nitro next week.
That's AEW's big accomplishment. That's something else. Why is that so important to AEW fans? Why is that such a flex for AEW that they've been on TV longer than Nitro? Nitro's been off the air for 25 years. You don't see Friends. Friends didn't have a special episode because they passed Seinfeld or Cheers or some bullshit. This is the only company I've ever heard who's celebrating the fact that they're passing a company that ended 25 years ago. TNA never did it when they passed Nitro.
TNA had nothing really to celebrate.
It's not, but the point, you get my point though.
So bad.
But you get my point I'm trying to make here.
I get it. It's very stupid. And it at the end of the day, it makes no sense why they're doing this celebration. It makes no sense you're doing a spring break episode in Boston, Massachusetts. Ain't no one going to Boston for spring break.
Are you going?
And I live here.
Are you going?
No, I'm passing.
Oh, Mercedes is going to be there though. You went last time when Mercedes was there.
It's not worth it.
Oh, that was the mogul.
It's not worth the travel. It's not worth the price of getting in, even though it's like $30 right now or some shit.
That was the mogul embassy you went for. I forgot.
It's just not worth it. Because like what? The only match that's probably worth seeing is the Athena Mercedes match. And like even that, like it's right now. Because
you're giving Harley Cameron zero chance on Collision, right?
No, because they're not. No, because they need a marquee match for that show. And Harley Cameron, Mercedes Moné is not it.
Poor Harley. She's so entertaining.
Harley will lose. Billy Starks will lose. Like the finals of the Owen Hart for the women's side will be Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes.
I know, because we have to give Mercedes the women's title, the TBS title, the scratch your ass title.
It's just, I don't know. Nothing last night made really any sense. Like, just nothing. Last night was pretty much a worthless episode, in my opinion.
It was, and that's your follow up to Dynasty, leading into
Well, like,
Double or
they've never
Nothing.
been good, but to be fair, they've never really been good with follow-up episodes. Like the first episode that Swerve won the AEW championship, the first thing that's on their TV is the Orange Cassidy, fucking Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta fucking breakup.
Yeah, because if I remember, Swerve was until like the next segment after that, right?
Not even. I think he was like the third segment.
And then he had a match against some nobody. Like
Kyle Fletcher.
Before
It was Kyle Fletcher when he was like losing all the time.
Meanwhile, something that bothered me is, why does Ospreay worry about WWE so much?
I think that he ran from the grind comment.
Yeah, but
rubs him the wrong way.
Okay, then that's as good as Swerve saying fuck Booker T. He keeps saying fuck Triple H. But you went on media before Dynasty and you said how AEW is 10% talk and 20% and 90%.
Hey, it's the Wolfman here.
But then you had 4 or 5 talking segments last night. Don't say your show is 90% wrestling and 10% talk when most of your show last night was talking.
It was fun. I didn't mind aside from the first one, most of the promo segments last night were fine. They're okay.
Kenny's was horrible.
Kenny's was bad.
Like, I really don't get what Kenny was getting at. I don't understand what he was doing. He's done some okay promos. He's not the greatest promo. But
last night, trying to be funny.
Yeah, it didn't hit at all.
Bobby was dying laughing.
I was laughing all right.
You know, honestly, for a second, I thought that when Okada came out, I thought he was turning babyface for a second. I thought he was coming out to help.
No, they're not doing fucking swerves. Are you high?
No,
I do swerves in AEW.
What are you talking about? The Bucks showing up was a swerve.
No, it wasn't. It was dumb.
That wasn't a swerve. That was just stupid. Yeah, we could go through the whole fucking card. AEW Dynasty of Hell. You had Ospreay, Kevin Knight kicked off the night.
I mean, the
match. It was a good match.
It was good.
Didn't need to be on the card, but it was a good match.
I think it was a showcase, Kevin Knight.
But you really didn't showcase him because it probably was one of Will Ospreay's worst pay-per-view matches since joining AEW.
You mean he's not going to get 5 stars from that one from Meltzer?
He probably will.
It will. Dude, I don't think one match on this whole card, except maybe the tag match, will get under 3.5 stars.
No, the only 5-star that Meltzer's going to give is going to be the triple threat.
And that deserves it. That was a great match. Then we had Mercedes versus Julia Hart next.
You know what? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something that's gonna catch heat. That was actually a good match.
Yeah, for that night, it was probably one of the best matches. Very predictable, but it was a fine match.
I mean, the whole card was pretty much predictable.
Mm.
You knew FTR was turning on Cope.
No, but did you watch how they turned?
Yeah, I saw it
live
the next day.
Okay, we get it. I saw it 3 minutes after it happened. It wasn't the next day.
No, That was well done. That how they went into the shatter machine. That was well done.
Yeah, that was probably the moment that night.
Yeah, because they had to take Cope off TV for a little bit.
Now realize at this point we're at like 9 o'clock, and we're only 3 matches on. We had Hurt Business versus Learning Tree. Who gives a fuck?
That was more about advancing the storyline with MJF and to get Jericho off TV because he's got to go tour with Fozzy for a month.
Yeah, that match is nothing. Then Tony Storm, Megan Bain happened. Takes out Storm 0-1, then lose to a small package. Did they do enough to protect her?
No, because
Yeah.
Tony Storm says that's one of her finishers now. She calls it the big package.
Yeah.
She was touting about it last night.
They didn't. So if, because here's the thing, like she barely. I don't know how you don't justify a rematch now.
Because it's
Like,
AEW. People lose, they don't
you
go for
like,
rematches.
Go away with it because it is a fluky finish.
I mean, the match itself was good. Megan Bain dominated, and Tony Storm got the roll up. She barely won.
It bothered me that she did not hook her legs on the small package.
How would you
How
know?
did you know?
I
didn't
saw
watch live.
it. Stop already.
Man's
Look
gonna
at those
go.
people who watched it live.
I just don't. I feel Megan Bain, like you said, she kicked out of Storm Zero at 1, but the small package when the leg was even crossing over, she couldn't get herself out of. And then she comes on last night and she's like, "I'm just going to beat someone up on Collision, and that's it. And you will all bow down to me." What's with AEW and people not wanting rematches or going again, just going for the title again? They just lose once and then they move on and then they're on Collision.
Because they got too many people.
That's the same issue WWE has. There's too many people right now.
Yeah, we got 3
Not
months
enough bodies.
till All In. Even if Mercedes wins, you're not going to have that match for 3 months. You still have to do something in between.
You're doing. Guess who's done in June?
What's that again?
Guess who's done climbing Everest in June?
What's
He's
that
gonna
have to
need
do
time
with?
to
We're talking about
recover.
Tony Storm right now.
Darby Allin's gonna win the women's championship, I guess.
Darby's gonna. You know what? When Darby wins the world championship, I'm gonna laugh at y'all.
It's well the thing. Okay, say Darby's done in June. Let's assume he's done in June. Let's assume he makes it. He still needs to recover, and that's
Nope.
probably gonna be a few more months. So he's probably not gonna be back till like what? Wrestle Dream.
June 30th.
Jeez.
It's 3 months. Wait, he started climbing in April. It's 3 months. That's July. That's past. That's like he's going to be done when it happens. When All In happens.
When there's a Darby, there's a way.
Oh, stop already.
Won't be a way. Your main event of All In will be Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay.
Unless they do Hangman.
Bruv.
What if it's not?
I don't see, based on who's in the tournament right now, how it won't be.
Hangman.
Hangman's not going to make it. He probably won't win his first round matchup.
Against who? Jack Perry?
They'll probably give it to Perry. Because if you're doing Swerve, Bucks, Page, that combination, the finals is at Double or Nothing. You're not having Page do double duty here.
They're literally doing the Young Bucks versus Page and
Swerve.
Swerve at all in.
It feels like
Who's-
a long time.
Who's Moxley going to
really
face at
stretch that one.
Double or Nothing?
MJF. Like I can't really think of it. There's no clear answer.
Because there's no one else. Like,
There's MJF. Maybe they run with Samoa Joe.
Joe
No,
already said they're going after the trios titles.
it's gonna be
Moxley calls him true. I mean, Moxley's going to be in that trios match because Pac fucked up his ankle again.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. It's not going to be a world title match at Double or Nothing.
there'll be a world title patch. It'll be Adam Page.
Actually, no, there is a chance it may not be. They could just end up doing the Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is Moxley's fucking match, pretty much.
And then you have the rematch at what? Blood and Guts? Those teams?
Yep. Yeah, there's your June. Yeah, so May, Anarchy in the Arena, June, Blood and Guts, and then
All in.
All In. And then you got fucking Forbidden Door against whatever's left in New Japan. And then All Out. Bobby, what are you gonna do when Darby isn't the guy?
But what if he is?
He's not. I don't see them going beyond All In. With Fox.
If John Moxley wins at All In,
There's an issue.
they're going with Darby.
Oh, there is. They will. If Mox walks out of All In as a champion, they're waiting for Darby.
I could agree with that.
Unless Mox goes over on Darby too, and this reign lasts forever. Roman Reigns style.
No.
Can't do this for 4 years.
He's not on Roman Reigns level.
Thinks he is.
He's not.
What was after that? We had the trios match. That was fine. And then we had Briscoe versus Fletcher. Great match. No one remembers it.
Yep.
Then we had the match that made me fucking shut the show off right after, and that's the Ring of Honor World Championship match.
You're the ROH guy. You want to break it down?
Just brutal. So the match itself was okay for 2025 Chris Jericho, but the ending, the shenanigans in it, it just made no sense. So Brian Keefe came out, made a distraction. Then you had the what the hell is it? Commander, what was the fucking, who's his brother? Commander? No, Gravity. Gravity came out, stopped him. Aubrey Edwards came out. This is where Aubrey got involved. Ref's not looking. Jericho grabs the bat. Jericho hits Bandito with the bat. 1, 2, 3. That's a match. Okay. Dirty finish. No one really saw it. Whatever. Then you had an official. This is Aubrey. It has nothing to do with the match. Talking to Bandito's family. Clear bias right there. And they bring him out from the crowd. Walk them over to where Jericho hit the bat. Pull out the bat, restart the match, smack the shit out of Chris Jericho, which should have been a clear disqualification, and then Bandito wins 1, 2, 3.
My problem, first off, before I even go further, just because they showed where the bat was, that doesn't show that Jericho actually used the bat. Just because the bat was hidden.
Wow, he's taking my talking points.
There was absolutely no fucking logic behind that. It was insulting. That match made me question why I watched this shit for the last 5 years.
You should have been questioning when you went to go see Mercedes Moné live.
No, I went to go see who the fuck are they? Gates of Agony.
Mogul Embassy.
Mogul Embassy, I was told. That's why we're all there. But no, the ending of that match was just very fucking stupid. It's not even something that Vince Russo, I don't think, would have done.
That would have been on a poll if it was Vince Russo.
That's how bad that was. There was no logic behind it. There was. It's just very fucking terrible at the end of the day. So let's give him leeway here. Okay, say reverse. Okay, you assume he used a bat, whatever. Restart the match. Should have been a DQ as soon as Bandito's sister smacked the shit out of Jericho in front of the refs.
He grabbed her.
Oh fuck! It doesn't matter if you are attacked by someone that is not in the match. That has always been a DQ, especially when it's clearly in front of the refs.
You can't use logic. You have to dumb yourself down.
They really dumbed us down there.
Like you said earlier, Bobby, it's only so much dumb you can go down before it's like
It's
enough.
just
They dumbed
it
you
was
out 'cause
dumb. It's not consistent with anything they do. If anything, it hurt Bandito.
Bruh, you literally you turned off the show.
So I work at 3 a.m. So these AEW shows go till like midnight. I wasn't even tired, and I called it a night. There was 3 matches left. One of them was the match of the night. I walked away. Walked away from the show. That was my limit. Ended up watching the final 3 matches the next day, but that was my limit right there.
Oh, so you can't talk about the rest of the card then because you didn't watch it live, right?
Yeah, but I'd still watch.
According to your logic,
in
no.
full.
But I can't
Yeah, but
watch.
I
I
still
can't
watched
talk
the
about it. But you didn't watch it live either.
You watched highlights. I still watched the matches.
He watched the matches.
But he didn't watch it live. You said it had to be live.
It was
But-
live. Just not when
ROH.
I watched it.
Listen, I said to you early in the week, ROH has to, one, be completely separate from AEW. You can't have people crossing over. You need a completely different creative team because you can't. Tony cannot book AEW, let alone Ring of Honor. He can't do both. It's bad creative all around.
It's not even a Ring of Honor issue right now with that. It was just it was just terrible fucking logic in that match. Like literally, no one can defend that match.
I can.
How? How can you defend that match? That match, the ending to that match was worse than the Bucks return. The Bucks return was stupid. Didn't really make no sense considering how they left. But it was whatever. This was just this was a joke. It was, oh my God. I'm surprised you didn't even shut off the fucking show after that.
Why would I shut up? I mean, I'm not paying. I mean, I pay for good entertainment.
Well, and I put up with like 2022 Vince McMahon creative where he got like fucking R-Truth coming out of his Uncle Sam and Gunther beating the shit out of him.
Dude, don't talk to me about 2022, okay? I lived through 2003, Triple H's Reign of Terror. Don't fucking tell me shit about what
I
you
lived through Michael Cole's in-ring career.
Okay, and
Of course.
JR used to give people stunners, and they looked horrible.
Vince used to give people stunners.
The Max stunner.
Like, no. You ruined Bandito in the process. The learning tree is now dead. There's no revival for them, regardless of when Jericho returns. It's just no one came out of this match looking good.
Why have it on this show? Why was this not saved for the biggest ROH show of the year?
Because you need to
Jericho's
get
on
Chris
tour.
Jericho on the card.
You don't need Jericho on the card.
Well, to be fair to Jericho there, that was his first pay-per-view main card since Wrestle Dream.
I mean, Wrestle Dream was only 2 months ago.
Wrestle Dream was in October.
Oh, what was 2 months ago? What am I
We're
thinking?
in April.
What was I thinking?
We had Revolution.
Oh, it was
Revolution and Dynasty had been the only 2 pay-per-views this year.
Why do I feel like that was?
And then we had World's End in December. November was Full Gear. October was Wrestle Dream.
Oh, I
So
got
it's been
myself.
about 6 months.
I feel like what Tony Khan does, Tony Khan books for the moment. So he wasn't thinking long term when he booked the matches.
It wasn't even a fucking moment. It was a moment I want back.
Well, obviously he doesn't
That's what it
book
was.
on what Bobby says, obviously, because he put the Owen Hart matches a week before the show. So obviously he's not booking long term.
I want to know how they're gonna do these Owen Hart things because there's only 8 people. After next week's Mercedes Athena match, you already got one final set, and you still got over a month till Double or Nothing.
They'll build the final match to double. They'll build the finals at Double or Nothing.
Like, how much can you really build?
It's a tournament match. It shouldn't be building to it. That should be the build right there. That is the finals of the tournament match.
It's like if you did. What was the final of the King of the Ring? Was it Orton versus Gunther for the King of the Ring?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was like if you had Orton Gunther officially set for the King of the Ring finals, and that was announced a month in advance, and now you got like 6 weeks of TV to build up a finals where it really shouldn't need to be built up like that because it's really the tournament you're supposed to be building up here,
Exactly.
not the match.
I don't even understand why there is a tournament.
It's for Owen.
No, it's not.
And because Tony loves tournaments.
No, it's not. This damn tournament's for Mercedes.
They've always had this tournament.
This year is for Mercedes.
Yeah, this year is to get them to Mercedes versus Tony Storm.
Yeah, but if they wanted to, they didn't need the tournament to get them there.
Yes, they did.
I feel like you did because you can't, because it gives you an excuse to put the TBS title on like hold without having Mercedes lose.
So what would
So
happen?
you
What
kinda
happened?
did need it.
So what do you think they're going to do? Are they going to let Mercedes hold both belts, assuming she wins them?
Probably.
She's getting probably every title. I wouldn't be shocked if the Death Before Dishonor main event is Mercedes Athena 2 for the ROH title.
So you're
And
basically
Mercedes wins it.
killing off all your
Mercedes making
titles
every
because
belt.
Mercedes ain't going to work 3 matches on a show.
And they don't defend the ROH women's title on shows. On the AW cards. And they won't have her do double for
And-
TBS. If anything, they might like strip her the title, but like I doubt that. They'll probably just turn like a women's triple crown, some bullshit like they did with Eddie Kingston.
And completely get rid of the TBS title.
No. Mercedes is probably keeping that title until she beats Jade Cargill's record, just so they clean their hands off the Jade Cargill numbers. Because like the same thing they did when they did Scorpio Sky, Sammy Guevara, and then redid the spot on the ladder that Cody and Sammy did with Scorpio and Sammy, just to replace it.
That's why WWE had New Day pass Demolition, because no one thought Demolition was going to be back either.
I mean, technically they really aren't.
They're under a Legends deal.
Yeah, but they're not going to be on like TV or anything. They'll
No.
probably be in the hall next year, but that'll probably be the last time we see them.
I know, but my point is to, move those people away from the history. Same thing with Gunther passing Honky Tonk Man.
I mean, that you had to. Someone should have passed on guitar. He does not need that record.
That was his only
Oh,
claim.
call it one of the most prestigious titles in history, and the longest reigning champion is fucking Honky Tonk Man. Like, come on.
Yeah, but Honky Tonk Man back then was a great heel because he always escaped with the title. Obviously, different time in the 80s and stuff like that. Couldn't do that every single time because he would be on
You
TV
could have
every
put
single
anyone in
week.
Honky Tonk. I think you could have put any mid-card heel in Honky Tonk Man's spot, and you would have been fine.
You would know
I
because
don't
you
get the same fucking thing.
you wouldn't know because you didn't watch it live. So how would you know?
Man, you didn't even fucking watch it live.
I know I didn't.
What the hell? Brandon wasn't even alive when Honky Tonk Man was Intercontinental Champion.
I don't think I was alive when Honky Tonk Man was still wrestling.
Brandon wasn't alive when I watched the Attitude Era.
I was alive. Attitude Era started in 97. Late 97. I was alive.
He wasn't watching. He was still in diapers, but, he was alive.
Yeah. Bobby's one of those people that overrates the Attitude Era.
Why?
Or you probably said they'd be like, you want a good TV, choppy, PP, bitch. That's you. You have the blood and the gore. You know what? You are Jamie Chalupa.
Why?
The more violent, the better.
So
Sad to show up.
let's okay. So now you talking about because hold on a minute because we're not gonna slide past that. First off, there was almost porn on TV. Everything was relaxed back then. That type of shit.
Porn on TV, pretty much for the
that type
of live sex celebration. That was like 0506.
No, not 0506. No, dude. No, fuck no, dude. We were degenerates back then. We were fucking degenerates.
You definitely marked out for the what was that fucking tournament that Vince Russo made everyone?
The Brawl for All?
Brawl for All. Yeah. You
No.
definitely loved that.
No, because I was laughing my ass off when Butterbean got his ass knocked out.
Now let's go, Bart Gunn.
I mean, Bart Gunn got his ass knocked out.
First off, ECW was porn before WWE was porn. Let's get something straight. The OG ECW
Exactly.
walked so the Attitude Era could run.
Exactly.
They had literal porn stars in ECW. Jenna Jameson, Jasmine St. Clair, literal porn stars. They literally did an angle that led up to Tommy Dreamer having a three-way.
They literally, DX would come out and the women flashed their fucking titties. And they had to black out the TV.
Bobby's Laker brother. You want to say hi to your brother?
Let's talk about Aura.
Yeah, it's right. Is Aura? Sorry, I think it was Shane. It was a Shane or BT that made this fucking post.
I did. I said that Aura is becoming the most overused term in wrestling, and someone mentioned that it's just being the most overused term, period.
So let's put it this way. Name the wrestlers that currently have aura.
Roman Reigns.
That's one.
Well, before that, let me ask you, what exactly defines aura when it comes to pro wrestling?
I feel like if they're on, you're stopping what you're doing and you're watching.
Yes. Roman Reigns has it. We're not trying to be funny. Women will literally stop with they know who the fuck he is and they don't even watch wrestling. That motherfucker literally.
Roman's one.
Gotta say Punk.
No.
People stop let's watch. It's by his definition.
Like Punk would be one. Punk doesn't have the aura like look, but I under that definition we gave, yeah, I think you got to put him on there.
No.
Cody?
No.
Cena?
No.
So with him, it's only Roman. That tracks. Solo.
No.
His one tribal chief.
If you legit wants to know who has, because that motherfucker sucked. Have you ever heard of X-Pac Heat? Are you fucking serious? What the fuck you think X-Pac Heat came from? They weren't booing him because he was a good heel. They was booing him because he sucked.
He was pushed back in the day because he was part of the clique.
Jesus, that motherfucker sucked.
fucking sucks. He's athletic. No, he sucked because he sucked. Before X Pac, there was 1, 2, 3 kid.
I was watching Global, which was on 4:00 weekdays on ESPN before he came to WWE, and he was Lightning Kid feuding with Jerry Lynn.
Let me put it this way. The only promotion where X Pac was really viewed as the guy went out after one season, and that was Society X. That's all you need to know about X Pac.
Man, this man fucking brought up X Pac. Get the.
Let me talk about this Sean Waltman. No, LJ.
So, Bobby, who else has aura then besides Roman?
Rare.
So, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
When I think of aura, I think of somebody that that's like a boss. Somebody that
Like the main character, like
exactly.
the end of it, like Rock.
Exactly. I'm cautious. Hey, you know what? Okay, we
He got you there.
You would too if you play for Atlanta because you'd have a competent quarterback. How
about a competent team first?
I don't know. I have an issue with Punk. I don't disagree, but I have an issue with Punk. This is gonna suck, but I'm one of. There's a difference. There's a difference between the voice of the voiceless CM Punk and this Punk that we're seeing now. The voice of the voiceless Punk would eviscerate you on the mic. Obviously, Cena has aura. No shit. It's John Cena, one of the greatest wrestlers ever. But if we're talking about like who is a household name, Cody's getting there. Cody is getting there. Punk, Roman Reigns,
Ripley. Rhea Ripley has aura.
Yes.
No.
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley has aura. Yeah, but Becky Lynch. As much as I hate to say it, Charlotte Flair.
I think she lost that aura.
No, she still has it.
Yeah, Ric Flair had aura.
Charlotte, we're talking about current. Charlotte Flair has aura.
Well, just
my thing with aura is the way that I judge aura is that you have the WWE, right? You have the WWE, but you have the people who they would never fire, who they would build a show around, who, if they wanted to, they could be like, no, we're not doing that. Beyond, like the main eventers, I think of the main eventers as the one that have aura.
Rollins.
Yep, Seth Rollins has aura.
I mean, motherfuckers just hum his fucking theme.
But that's the point. But you know what? But that's all he needs. Like, I don't get why he gets so much hate because Seth Rollins fucking can, number one. Like on Monday, when like Seth Rollins storytelling, like his storytelling is so fucking underrated. So fucking underrated, dude. He could have stopped the shit, dude. When he didn't stop Paul Heyman and said, "Now you owe me a favor." Like, you can't tell me that wasn't fucking cinema. Like, that wasn't fucking good. Because now
the reason Rollins gets hate is because, like, Rollins will have these like serious moments where he's serious and he's great, but then there's also moments where it requires him to be serious and he's goofing around, coming out like a goof.
I mean, that's his character.
I think,
know, but like, there's a time and like a place. Like Jey Uso this week. He didn't eat it all. Came out dead serious. Pretty much threatened to kill Gunther and left.
I thought Monday was Rollins' best promo of his career. How about that?
Uh,
I don't know.
maybe, but just the whole fact that he fucking, because let me tell you something. I think that on Monday he saved himself in this storyline because he was looked at like, because it was like, oh well, it's CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Well, now it's like, oh fuck, well, what does that mean? What does Seth Rollins want? Like, what does Seth Rollins want? So when you talk about aura, I'm talking about people that I'm talking about the upper echelon. So yeah, Seth Rollins does have aura because whether you like it or not, which is the dumbest shit I've heard. Oh, he's only over because of his music. Yeah, no shit. 90% of the WWE of the Attitude Era wrestlers were over because of their music, because of the fact that Jim Johnson fucking produced it and it was iconic. No shit. You think Gang fucking Grell would be fucking over if he didn't have that
With the bomb
like
ass theme on
with
fucking
a bomb ass
Gangrel.
theme. Gangrel's theme was fucking bomb ass. So don't. So it's stupid when people are like, Rolly James is in the air because of his fucking theme. Yeah. So it's catchy. That's the whole fucking point. You identify that catchy theme with the wrestler. He
And
can
plus,
talk.
people forget that Jay was over before he had the fucking music.
That's what I'm saying. They was in the fucking. This is what I call aura. Aura is when you come out as a heel. The reason, and I'm not just saying Roman is the only one that has aura. The reason that Roman has fucking aura is because even his biggest haters turn into his biggest fucking fans. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. That 4-year title reign that he had made his career, made him one of the greatest wrestlers. I don't care what you say. You could say that he defended the title every 2 to 3 months. You could sit here and say that you didn't like how he held the title. When Roman Reigns linked up with Paul Heyman, that's when he developed aura. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is the God's honest truth. When he came back that pay-per-view before SummerSlam, when he came back and he speared both fucking Braun Strowman and the Fiend, you could tell that it was a different Roman. That motherfucker had attitude. That motherfucker said, "Okay, if you boo me, I don't give a fuck because I'm him." You can say what you want to say. That's the reason. People fucking cheer him. Like what are we doing? Like how you figure somebody has aura? Yep, Randy Orton's another one. How you figure somebody has aura, bruh? They're in fucking Chicago, one of the hardest cities to get cheered in. They're in fucking Chicago, and his cheers was louder than CM Punk.
See, I don't know about that.
They were loud, dude. They were close. If they weren't louder, they were close.
They were close, but it's still Punk's still going to own that town no matter what.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm not saying Roman's going to own the town. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you don't see when Punk is going against somebody, you don't see no fucking body else get cheers. I've never. Maybe I'm naive, but I've never seen anybody else get cheers because
Rollins
in Chicago.
No.
Well, no matter what, they're going to sing the song. So
exactly, Rollins is set. That's another thing. Aura is hey, you're set. You're good. You don't have to do anything else. Rhea Ripley, all she has to do is be mommy for the rest of her fucking career, and she's fucking set. That's aura. You don't have to do another damn thing. We are
I don't know if Foley had aura.
Oh, what the fuck? Yes, he did.
You say Mick Foley didn't have aura?
Are you fucking serious?
Dude, Mankind alone had aura.
Dude, Mick Foley was a fucking genius. He had
I'm not shitting on Foley, but I'm just going to me, I don't fully understand the term aura. I've been hearing aura in all these different places, and I'm trying to understand exactly what aura is. So to me,
aura is people show up and they want to see him. Like Austin, I'll make it relative to you. Austin, you remember how Stone Cold Steve Austin, every time that motherfucker would come out, dude, there would be people fucking running in the crowd like this motherfucker was Michael Jackson to run up to the fucking rails to fucking get close to Austin. because back then they didn't have cameras. They didn't have fucking cell phones. You only saw Austin on TV, so it was different. That is aura. The Rock. You had grown men jumping when if you smell what The Rock is, dude. Grown men fucking jumping up and down in their fucking seats because the fucking Rock came out. That is aura.
And I want to just off this real quick. Did you see the tweet from Carl Anderson that is mocking the NXT talents because they would run up when Rock was NXT that one day to take pictures with him? And he was basically calling them marks.
Everybody's a fucking mark. This is what I don't get. Everybody's a fucking mark. When they fucking have 316 days, you see the fucking WWE wrestlers mimicking Austin's speech. These wrestlers that are talking nowadays, they're talking like fans. Like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I watched The Rock, and you know, he was just blah 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 this, blah 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 that. That is what they're talking about. That is aura. That is aura. You are the fucking guy. Unquestionably, nobody can doubt it. Nobody can take your place. That it is what it is. And Austin had it. The Rock had it. Taker had it. Mick had it after Hell in a Cell. After Hell in a Cell, and as his legend group, it's like, yeah. But Mick had it for a different reason. Mick had it because it was for hardcore. Like, that motherfucker was crazy.
Does anyone have aura in AEW?
I know he's down right now. Mox.
No, he doesn't.
I know he's down. No. Hear me out. Because what an argument you just made was motherfuckers would run to the railings to see this man come out. In every AEW Boston event I have been to, motherfuckers would run to wherever the fuck the section he's coming out to just to fucking see him come out.
That's anybody that's coming through the crowd. That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything to me because
motherfuckers were doing that for Wheeler Yuta.
Dude, Moxley does not. Moxley's aura is because of the. I have a love-hate relationship with him. Moxley's aura is because he was in WWE. That to me is what.
Yes, that's pretty much majority. If anyone does have aura in AEW, it is because of their ex-WWE.
No, Omega has aura.
No, Omega has aura in Japan. Because what the fuck has he done? What has the fuck has he done in America?
He had that.
I still to this day say that there is a difference between New Japan Kenny Omega and American Kenny Omega.
Swerve has aura.
No,
Swerve's losing his fucking aura.
He's losing his aura if he keeps.
Well, that's because he's being a bitch, but you know he has aura outside.
Swerve is getting there. Yes, I'm gonna tell you somebody who does have aura. It's Will Ospreay.
So, I was gonna say he's gonna say Darby. I was gonna get the fuck out of here.
Darby is just because he's another Jeff. He's another Jeff Hardy that wears face paints. Darby's aura is the fact that he would sit in the rafters. If you remember, do you remember Sting? How Sting developed his aura when he left in WCW, and he just fucking hung in the rafters, didn't say shit, and people became. That's how Sting got his crow aura. I call that his crow aura. So that's what I think. That's how Darby, because Darby would just sit in the stands, wouldn't say shit. And he's like this dark figure. He's not dark, but he's just this mysterious figure. He doesn't say shit. Wears the face paint.
I'll go that he has the same aura that Mick Foley has because of the stunts. Like you said, Foley got the aura after Hell in a Cell.
But Mick has exactly. Mick has a character. Mick has aura because he is fucking loved. That is what makes Mick. That is what makes Mick great. Because Mick was loved for being Mick Foley after all the crazy hardcore shit that he did. Post Japan, post ECW, he came to WWE and he developed a character. He became a character. He became Mankind. He became Dude Love. He became a different version of Cactus Jack. And then when he finally went to Mick Foley, where his fucking sense of humor, his quick wit. He can fucking cut a like people. People forget that Mick got the same loud fucking reactions as The Rock and Steve Austin did. Like, what are we talking about? Every
You
time
make
that they
good, but one of
damn
the biggest reactions in the entire Attitude Era was when Mankind won the
won the
WWE
WWE
Championship.
Championship.
I will take it back because you know what? I take it back about Mick Foley because he has aura for the plain fact that he became Mankind because Vince did not want Cactus Jack. And he got so over that Vince allowed him to be Cactus Jack in Madison Square Garden. So I take it back. Foley did have that aura.
Exactly. And it's like what Jim Ross said last week. The only person that could pull off Mankind was Mick Foley. Nobody else could have pulled off that character. But
who else
I'm
in AEW?
but I'm gonna say this right now. If they don't fuck him up, it is Will Ospreay without a shadow of a doubt. It's Will Ospreay.
That's the guy.
That is who you strap your fucking rocket ship to, and you fuck because you know what? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I watch both shows. I watch AEW and WWE. But if anybody asks me, I would prefer WWE. I will defend WWE till my dying day. But when Will Ospreay said, we had that cage match on Sunday, and then they tried to recreate it on Monday night, and they couldn't do it. You can't fucking argue with that. Nobody can fucking. You know what? You can say that he does all the flips. You can say that he does, all the flippy floppy shit. Nobody can touch that man in the ring.
This is my problem with that.
That motherfucker can wrestle. And
This is my problem with that statement. They were not trying to beat that cage match. The two cage matches were two completely different kinds of cage matches.
I understand that, but he wasn't acting like they were trying to beat the cage match. What he was saying was that, he thinks that he was just basically saying that he thinks that it was the best cage match that there was. That he's hearing from people that it was the best cage match that there ever was, and the cage match the next night, people were trying to recreate it the next night, which Will Ospreay's way, that's what you expect him to say. But if I was that motherfucker, I'd say the same shit.
Yeah, but it was just a completely different kind of match to me.
It was, but to me, that match warranted blood. That match between Will Ospreay and what's his name, that match absolutely, that shit warranted blood. I'm glad that they used the fucking cage the right way. But to me, Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world. I don't know, maybe Zack Sabre Jr., but to me, Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world. And I fucking say that shit wholeheartedly with my chest. That motherfucker can wrestle. I don't care what the fuck you can say. You can hate that. You can hate the flip floppy shit. That motherfucker can wrestle.
Yeah, if Danielson's really retired, Will Ospreay, by a very large margin, is the best wrestler.
Wrestler in the world. There's no fucking touching him. You could be Seth Rollins, and the problem is that you wrestle a different style. But it's Will Ospreay.
Toni Storm has aura.
She does. Yes.
I can't stand. I don't like the gimmick. I do not like the gimmick. I don't think she's that great in the ring. I think she's very overrated in the ring. But she has aura. She has presence, and everyone's paying attention when she comes out.
That's another thing I hate. They're like, "Oh, well, she's horrible in the ring." Well, do you just watch wrestling just to watch wrestling?
No, but
because
like everyone, I see everyone saying that. Oh, they want her back in WWE because she's so great. I don't think she's good in the ring. I don't think she's as great as people make her out to be.
She is just her character makes her great.
Her character, but I'm talking just from her in-ring work.
You can't. Here's the thing.
Realize.
My bad. Go ahead.
She came to AEW. The biggest knock on her was character. No one disputed her in-ring work. She was known as a great in-ring worker.
Exactly.
But since she came to AEW, it's really flipped, and it's come to a point a lot of people underrate Toni Storm's in-ring work now.
Exactly. And here's another thing. Here's where AEW fans lose me. Here's where AEW fans are hypocrites, because they'll sit here and say, oh, it's AEW where the best wrestle. Well, the best are not necessarily the strongest wrestlers in the company. They're the fucking characters. Because you look at somebody like MJF. Now, MJF is good in the ring, obviously, but his strongest point is his fucking character work. That's why that motherfucker has a mic in a wrestling company, has a mic every fucking week and comes out and talks on the mic, because you know that whatever he's going to say is cash money. Tony Storm caught lightning in a bottle. She became timeless Tony Storm. Her character work is carrying her where people don't even care that she's good in the ring, great or not. You're probably not the only person that says that Tony Storm cannot wrestle just from a wrestling standpoint, but her character work is so fucking good that it's overshadowing people saying that she cannot wrestle in the ring.
And that's the thing with me. I don't like the gimmick. I've never liked the gimmick, but I can see how big she is with that gimmick and how well she does the gimmick. Just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean I can't recognize how good she is in that with that character and how she's totally reinvented herself with that character.
And what's that girl's name? What's that girl's name? I just saw the show. She said when she could. What is the girl's name that y'all just shared the video in the admin chat talking about when she came out? I can't think. And when she came out of her mama's womb, she didn't go. Wow. She went wow.
That's Harley.
Harley
Cameron.
Harley. He is fucking wasting her. He is fucking dude. She fucking has it. That chick right there, dude. I try not to like her because I'm like, okay, you're just, but dude, she is so fucking hilarious. She said, dude, Tony Khan he's wasting her. He's fucking wasting her.
He's
dude.
wasting a lot of people.
But he is wasting her, dude. Because did you see that? Did you see her? Did you see that video?
The issue is,
did you see the video, Brandon, real fast?
Yeah.
She said, dude, that line right there where she said that she came out of her mama's womb and she didn't go, wah. She went, wah. She slapped the dot. Like, dude, who the fuck? I've never heard that line before. I'm like, dude, that's fucking great.
And she didn't come out covered in glue. She came out
covered in fucking glitter. Like, dude, she doesn't stumble. And I'm going to let you talk, Brandon. I'm going to shut up. She doesn't stumble over her words. She knows what she's going to say. It doesn't sound like she's fucking reading from a promo.
Which Brandon, this one or me?
Yeah. I'm talking about BT had something that he wanted to say. So
with Harley here, her issue is right now is that they're too pot committed to building, giving Mercedes everything. Because under like normal circumstances, she probably wins the TBS title already, just because of how over she is. But they're too pot committed to certain things right now that she's gonna suffer. She's gonna lose to Athena likely this Saturday, and then she's gonna be back under the Harley Graham mask, fucking doing shit with hologram. So that's where Harley Cameron's probably ended up right now on this all-in build.
Yeah, it's a shame because she's got one of the best characters and she's building such momentum right now. And it's a shame that there's so many people around that she can't really get that spotlight.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to pride yourself on being a wrestling company. I think it's great that AEW says, hey, this is AEW, we're the best wrestle. That is okay. But if you have fucking wrestling matches that do not fucking mean anything, that are just thrown together for no fucking reason, and there's no cohesion as to why those matches are put together in the first place, that's where you lose me. That's because you have to, regardless, I said this last week, you have to put on something that makes people want to care about the match. Why are they having this match? Which is why I could kind of understand why Jon Moxley has not lost the title yet. Because people tune into the pay-per-view just to see him lose. Because when he loses, it's going to be a big fucking deal because people want to see him lose. That's why I low-key think that Tony Khan is a fucking genius. And at the same time, I think he's fucking stupid because he hears the criticism, but he knows what the payoff is going to be. So that momentum is building, that crescendo is building where Jon Moxley wins again. You're like, fuck. But you're still watching it. He's not losing those 500,000 people. Cool. You're not gaining people, but you're maybe slowly gaining people, but you're not losing anybody. You're doing the same average weekly. So you're not losing. So no matter who complains about the fucking storyline, they're still watching. And I would like to see a quarter hour with John Moxley. If that rating is true, I would like to see what the quarter hour is with just John Moxley on the TV. Or like what is the rate with John Moxley? Like when John Moxley has his matches on the pay-per-view, what's the match rate?
It all depends on when they have them on the card, because obviously you can't judge it based off the opening, because you have pretty much to
Right.
lead in from where the fuck.
Which I feel like why he opened last night.
And you can't do it near the end, because then you got motherfuckers who are starting to tune in during the overrun for whatever the hell is next.
Right.
So it's really, you got to judge it through the middle. And the one time they really judged through the middle was that Cope Mox match, which is what he touted.
Right. So yeah, so whatever it is, so I will agree, John Moxley. But here's my thing, and this is the last thing and then we can talk about something else. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Quit fucking getting your panties in a bunch because of the fact that he has the title in a fucking briefcase. That part right there, I don't have a problem with. Because he has it. You know he's the world champion. Brock, they sit here complaining because he brings a briefcase to the ring and you don't see the fucking title. Okay, Brock Lesnar disappeared for 6 months at a time with the WWE title and you didn't even fucking see the title on pay-per-views for months at a time. This dude is defending the title at every pay-per-view. It would be different if he was defending it like maybe every 3 or 4 months. He defends it at every pay-per-view. And kayfabe wise, if you want to see the title, fucking stop it and take it from him.
Did they explain why he's keeping it in the briefcase? Did I miss that?
No,
because 90% of the shit.
No, because I actually listened to his interview. What's that show that his wife got?
Is it still called Oral Sessions?
Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette.
The Sessions now.
Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette. I think what's going to happen is long term. I really do think that there is an end goal that they are trying to get to, and I really think that there's a reason that what they're trying to build to, which is why they are being patient with this storyline. Like, yeah, it may suck right now, but I'm stupid enough to believe and want to have the faith that they have something good to go for this storyline with it going for so long. Because like John Moxley said, he said it best. He said, I'm the champ. He said, people complain about every little fucking thing. He said, just sit back, shut up, enjoy the ride and just watch the show. He said, because 5 minutes later, they'll be complaining about something else. So, I mean, I don't disagree.
I still think they should explain why he's keeping it in the briefcase. There should be some explanation.
But how do you know he's not? How do you know he's not? How do you know it's not going to happen?
It should have happened from when he started putting it in the briefcase. When he's carrying it around, what's the reason for it?
It probably
goes back to what I said earlier with the Death Riders. Why you got to explain the motivation for the Death Riders? What's the motivation for keeping it in the briefcase? What are you doing? Why is it in the briefcase? What purpose does that serve for his character? Is he punishing the fans by not letting them see the title because they haven't earned the fact to see the title? Does he not want the title seen until someone's able to beat him for it to show that they earned holding that title? Like, I want to know the motivation at least to the story.
I don't know. I just want Marina Shafir to wrestle.
I think she's going to wrestle at Double or Nothing against Willow.
They've been dragging this shit for like months, and I'm just like, dear God, like, can we just get a wrestle?
I'm telling you, they're probably going to put Marina Shafir in on Blood and Guts.
And Willow too.
It's going to happen to try and make her look like a complete badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have her against the men, or you put Willow in there too?
You shove Willow in there too.
She couldn't even take a DDT. She's gonna be in Blood and Guts though.
And she'll take a thumbtack to the fucking back.
Yeah.
And be fine and on TV the next week.
Let me explain something to you, young man. Let me tell you something, Brandon. This is the Brandon T. Taylor. You could say anything about anybody.
Young man. Didn't we already establish I'm older than both of you?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something old school. You can say anything about anybody else, but there will be no Willow slander on this show.
It's not slander when it's a
No,
fact.
She took that DDT like a champ. Okay, there was obviously something in that mat where she hit
Oh,
that
And
knocked
then
her
they
out.
shoved her in a fucking
in their broom
closet
closet. The MT broom closet.
where they
You-
barely fit like the training table.
Listen, ain't nobody.
We didn't even get into like the main event of Dynasty either yet. The Bucks return.
No, I don't care about the Bucks. We've already discussed that.
Yeah, we
They
actually
fucking-
discussed
said we
that
wanted
towards
to
the
get in
beginning.
shit show. We
They-
stopped at Ring
they
of Honor and then we
fucking-
got to the Aura conversation.
They fucking went away. Yes, Booker T has aura because we coming for you. Never mind. But anyway,
Swerve.
Swerve.
We coming for you.
that's not the original. I dare you to say the original.
Ooh, I dare BT to say see Brandon TT Taylor to say the original.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. I don't want to get canceled.
Listen, I don't know. I don't care. Okay, I do not fucking care because like, what? They just annoy me. Why the fuck do they walk like that? Why do they chew gum like that? Why do they puff their chest out like they're fucking hot shit and they're like 5'7"?
That's
Like-
exactly why, because it pisses you off.
It's
So they're
just-
doing their jobs as heels to piss people off.
Are they really pissing people off, or is
They're-
it just we don't
Go-
really want to we don't want to see you?
Exactly. We just don't really want to see you. It's not pissing nobody off.
And
So
the
do
punk shit-
you think the Bucks have Jarrett X-Pac heat?
I think they have probably the worst effect from brawl out.
They
Okay.
do. And the fact of the matter is that they took the most heat from that pathetic when Tony Khan made the stupid fucking decision to show the video, and then the Bucks with that lame ass explanation of why they showed the video didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever with the explanation. That made them look 10 times worse because it didn't come across like the way that they thought it was, or they was hoping that it would.
I almost think that was the Bucks' idea, and Tony just went with that. I don't think Tony actually wanted to do it. I think the Bucks wanted to do it, and Tony just rolled over and said,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Yep, and that is coincidentally that's where the ratings drop began.
Probably so.
I think today is 1 year. 1 year.
I was about to
since
say, I
they
think
showed
I
it.
saw earlier that it's actually 1 year since they showed that video today.
Yeah, because that was Mania week. Because it was a response to the CM Punk talking about Brawl In.
Roll out.
No, Brawl Out was the he was talking about Brawl In, the Jack Perry one.
Oh, okay.
Who he's escaped a lot from that, but like he didn't really have like a fan base or this, that, and the other beforehand to begin with.
Who, Perry?
Yeah, so it's hilarious
He
because the
did
Bucks
too.
took most of the shit for Brawl Out, and they take most of the shit for Brawl In.
I was a huge fan of Jungle Boy.
Yeah, but that character had a shelf life.
You're,
I find that AEW fans are very hypocritical. The WWE will do something to imply AEW, and they will hold on to that and roll on that for months and months. But if AEW mentions WWE, they're like, "Oh, big deal." That really pisses me off. Not because it's a WWE thing; it's just at least be in the middle about it.
you sound like Bret Hart.
I'm not Canadian, thank you though.
You sound like Bret Hart. That's
Or
not a
about Bill
compliment.
Goldberg.
That's not a compliment. You sound like Bret Hart when he complains. I feel like every time, like if you were to say Bill Goldberg, you would say Bill Goldberg.
I don't think recently I've ever heard Bret Hart praise anything.
He praised Roman Reigns.
Oh, that's okay now.
He praised Roman Reigns.
Like every time it's like, oh, Bret Hart did an interview, and it's like he shit on XYZ and Bill Goldberg.
He praised Roman Reigns. He praised your tribal chief.
Solo?
Roman Reigns.
Solo's your tribal chief.
Roman is my tribal chief.
Speaking of aura, this is actually an interesting one because LJ's comment. Does Hulk Hogan still have aura?
No,
He's officially lost it.
dude, he's a fucking racist. What the fuck?
I mean, there's a lot of fucked up people that you consider, like Ric Flair.
Ric Flair is speculation. Ric Flair has not been caught. There's a difference. Teddy Long said that he said the N word, which I believe because I met Ric Flair, but that's another story for another day. But Ric Flair, it was implied that he was, but here's the thing: the difference between Ric Flair and Hogan is, number one, you don't see Ric Flair. I'm not even gonna get into it, but basically, you don't see Ric Flair going to Trump rallies. You don't see Ric Flair getting caught saying on tape, "Oh well, if you did an N word, I wish it was a rich N word." You see Ric Flair hanging out with black people. You see Ric Flair using drip. Ric Flair has somehow been invited to the barbecue. Ric Flair goes to fucking sporting events and fucking gives motivational speeches to fucking NFL players, basketball players. Ric Flair stays relevant. Ric Flair, he's Ric Flair. That's the difference. Hulk Hogan got caught saying the N-word, did not apologize for it, doubled down on it, did not apologize to anybody, has gone completely insane, has had, and not even with the racist shit, just the stories that are coming out now about how much of a piece of shit that Hogan is, and people are finally seeing it.
A lot of people are catching up to Hogan's lies,
Exactly, and that's
like the
proof.
Foreman grill.
I
the most
would
recent one.
I would legit like to see WWE go to Canada. That would be telling. I would like to see WWE go to Canada, like Toronto, and I would like to see Hogan come out. That would be telling. Would they cheer Hogan or would they boo him because of his beliefs?
I know who they
That's
won't
that's
cheer
what I'm saying.
next time they go to Canada.
Who?
Pat McAfee.
No. No, but I mean, I'm gonna be quiet. But what do you think, Brandon? Do you think that he still has aura?
The character of Hogan, I think, still has the aura. Forget about Terry Bollea and all his shit. But just in a wrestling circle, if it's Hulk Hogan, I still think there's an aura to him. It's not like it was, but it's still
Then that
there.
ain't aura. Then that ain't aura. He ain't got no damn aura.
If he's coming out, people are going to stop what they're doing and pay attention. That's the definition we said by,
No.
right?
People are gonna come
No.
out. No, people are gonna come out and lose their shit. Like
Like, go the
Hogan.
fuck away.
Yeah, Hogan has go away heat.
Maybe in LA, but I'm talking.
Dude,
Jimmy, they didn't really like you there,
dude,
brother.
dude. If he came to fucking Philadelphia,
There would be a line. I guarantee there'd be a line around the corner waiting to meet him.
well, y'all ain't been the smartest bunch, so.
I'm not from Philly, but
Dude, that's anywhere, dude. Hogan had
No.
Hogan. That doesn't mean shit. Hogan would have a line in California. I get what you're saying. Yeah, he may, but Hogan would have a line of. To me, Hogan started losing his aura when he kept coming back for matches and he couldn't do half the shit that he used to do. Let me tell you what Hogan. This is not even bad. To me, Hulk Hogan started losing his aura when he faced Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels fucking embarrassed the shit out of him and started flipping around and overselling his moves on purpose to make him look bad. That was fucking.
I mean, people aren't lined up to see Hogan because the backlash of Hogan for the Saturday Night Main Event that was supposed to happen in Texas. Backlash was so bad, he mysteriously was never supposed to be there, even though he was promoted to be there.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you something. I went to Raw in January when that motherfucker came on to scream during a commercial break because they were promoting his beer or whatever. They booed the shit out of this motherfucker. And this is Texas. They booed the shit out of this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's got a bad rap right now, but I still think, like I said, I'm trying to separate the Hogan character from Terry Bollea, who's done the things you talked about.
You
Hogan
can't.
did that in court.
The problem is, see, and that's another thing. The problem is that you cannot separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea. Because again, not to get political, he went to a Trump rally as Hulk Hogan. That's why the Undertaker's not catching shit for also supporting Trump, because Undertaker supported Trump as Mark Calloway. The character, the Undertaker, did not fucking support him. Hulk Hogan is catching shit because he went to a rally as fucking Hulk Hogan.
So you think if he would have gone on to all this Trump stuff as Terry Bollea and not used the name Hulk Hogan, despite even being Hulk Hogan, that he wouldn't have gotten booed in LA?
I'm gonna tell you, yes, and I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, Brent. Let me get this out. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna give you the God's honest truth. This is me being 100% real. If none of that racist shit would have came out from Hulk Hogan, he would actually be okay, and he would still get cheered. But it's because of the fact of the fact that Hogan fucking was fucking racist, and people had this assumption of who, again, not getting political, just what Trump is, and they're fucking. And there's already a stigmatism that party is racist. Hulk Hogan aligning himself with Trump. Hulk Hogan saying the shit about the illegals, about the illegals, literally calling them illegals and calling them immigrants. His mouth gets him in trouble. Not Hulk Hogan, the character. I wouldn't give a fuck if Hogan would not have said shit, and if he would have went as Terry Bollea. And if none of this racist shit were there, I wouldn't give a fuck about Hogan. And Hogan would still get the same reaction that he would probably still get the same Hulk Hogan reaction that he used to get. But he's done put his foot in his mouth too many times.
Right, but my only question is if he went with his real name instead of the Hulk Hogan name.
No, I'm telling you no, because the Hulk Hogan name is associated with him doing racist shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be different if he went as Terry Bollea. That's why I'm saying it. Listen to what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but listen to what I'm saying. If he would have went as Terry Bollea and he did not, Undertaker has never said racist shit. Name one thing that you ever heard Undertaker being racist. You haven't. Terry Bollea is fucking racist. You cannot separate a racist from the character because of the fact that he was in character when he was doing the racist shit. You can't. It would be different. It would be different if he had never said any of the racist shit that he said, and he went to the rally as fucking Terry Bollea. Even if he went to the rally as Hulk Hogan and never had said any of the racist shit that he said, I still believe that Hulk Hogan, that he would be okay. But he still keeps putting his foot in his mouth because he's doubling down and saying shit that is problematic.
BT, what were you going to say?
Hogan still would have been booed regardless in LA even without the Trump shit. The Trump shit just made it worse. Well, that shit made it worse because he was getting booed at Mania when he was coming out dressed as a pirate with Titus O'Neil.
Well, that's because of the fact
But
that
it
he
was
said the
not as
racist
bad.
shit. It wasn't, but it was the racist shit that he said that's the reason he got booed.
I think even with the racist shit, I think there was still a pathway for Hogan to be forgiven if he showed any remorse towards it.
And he
But he never did.
Exactly.
His biggest concern from all that was be careful who you're with. You never know when you're recorded.
Exactly.
It's the same thing I went at a few days ago with the Tessa Blanchard shit. She's never really shown any remorse. And that's why the crowd still shits on her.
Exactly.
She at least embraces it.
She embraces it. That's correct. But that crap do. But here's the thing with Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard, bro, was so fucking over. Like, I'm not even just talking about just before the shit that she said. Tessa Blanchard, when she became the aura that is who had aura for TNA. When she became their fucking world heavyweight champion, that girl had the rocket ships attached to her, and then she stuck her foot in her mouth. So that's somebody that had aura, and it's like, well, what the fuck now? Like, but now she's coming back, and now she's embracing it. But I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna give her credit for. No matter what she says about the race, no matter she's embracing it and she's turning it in her favor.
I don't think she's going to implode like you suggested, BT. I don't think that TNA is going to have buyer's remorse or regret it.
No, Tessa, she's too good. Dude, the way that she owns that crowd, dude, the way that she owned that crowd when they said, Tessa, we coming for you, and she just sat there and smirked. She's too good. She's not gonna implode. They did their due diligence. They wouldn't have brought her back. I didn't even know y'all had this conversation. But no, she wouldn't. She's not gonna implode.
She's going to end up on being seen on NXT this year.
I don't think so.
I do. I think she's winning the belt from Masha.
No,
and I think during one of those crossovers, she's going to be there.
No, they can't. They won't. They're not going to risk that.
Too many sponsors.
Yeah,
not worth it.
No, they're not. They're not going to risk that. No, WWE is a public trick. No, hell no.
Bro, they got rid of what's that dude? What was
Odyssey?
Odyssey Jones over an accusation.
Exactly. No.
This is something that actually happened.
Hulk Hogan, who, mind you, the shit was like recorded like in 2020. Because of the fact that he got booed in LA, they are not bringing him on TV again. There's no way in hell they're bringing Tessa Blanchard on TV.
We'll see. I feel like she would make an appearance at least sitting in the crowd.
No,
kind of like how Masha did.
No,
you won't.
No, you won't.
The closest you may get to seeing her is if TNA and NXT do a cross promoted PLE. That may be the closest, and they won't like really promote her or her match.
Exactly. Let me put it like,
may be the closest.
Let me put it like this: if you Brandon Taylor was in NXT and you was the one that pulled the strings on that shit for her to be on NXT, bro, you'd be fired. They would fucking fire you. They would can you for that horrible decision.
I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it. Because of her last name. And who runs NXT?
That doesn't mean shit.
That last name does not have the cachet you think.
That doesn't. Shawn Michaels is not stupid enough. Shawn, listen. HB Shizzle.
Especially when like majority of the people he pushes are black.
But I thought her thing about she was bullying the girls and it wasn't a racist thing.
Yes.
There's a racist thing. There's bullying.
She did. What she said? She didn't really say the N word. She just said like they had like nappy head or something like that, right?
No, she did.
Yeah, or something.
She said the N word and spat on her.
Okay, well, yeah. And let's get something straight, okay? HB Shizzle has too much aura to let that happen. Okay, there's a reason that man is HB Shizzle.
Speaking of which, the last thing I have is the fact that people are saying that NXT is against black people is the most ridiculous thing. Just because the fans were chanting what they were chanting in response to what Swerve said.
Who the fuck said that?
Oh, I saw it all on Twitter.
That's been a massive discourse.
All on Twitter, they're saying that NXT and NXT fans don't appreciate or like black wrestlers because they were chanting "fuck Swerve" or "we're coming for you, Swerve" in response to what Swerve said at the end of Dynasty.
Not fuckers who go on Vlad TV and fucking sell out a fucking another black wrestler that ain't wrestled in like fucking 10 years.
Just the fact that people can actually go online and say that, NXT isn't about black wrestlers when literally every major male that's been champion the last 4 out of 6 has been a black man.
People just say shit out of their ass. They're just upset. Number one. Here's my issue. This is why Swerve does not have aura. Because why the fuck are you, who is probably the top babyface in the company, why the fuck are you saying something about a person in another company? That is fucking childish. That is fucking childish, and that's ridiculous.
And it doesn't matter that the TV cameras went off the air because everyone's got a fucking camera. You know it
Everybody
was to be seen.
exactly. And he didn't necessarily try to hide it. He literally said "fuck Booker T" into the
Yeah.
mic and dropped the mic and left. He didn't try to hide it.
He literally said, "For my own amusement, fuck Booker T."
Because
Yeah,
and matter of fact, now AJ Francis, his reply got me cracking up. But I'm gonna say this though, Swerve, I don't think like Booker T, old Booker T. Like
Booker's been pretty tamed on this.
but what I don't okay, and I'm gonna say this, and look, because we never really talked about this, and then we can end the show if y'all want. I never got the discourse of well, Booker T let Vince McMahon say that. Well, dude, what the fuck?
How is Booker going to stop Vince from saying something?
Saying like what?
If it wasn't Booker, Vince would have made someone else stand there
Exactly.
for him to do that.
It would have been Truth because they're like best buds.
Truth wasn't even in WWE at that time.
But you get my point. I'm trying to
It
say.
was Shelton Benjamin probably.
Yeah. And Shelton
With Mama
Benjamin had one of the most racist characters of all time, and that shit was sadly it was hilarious. That shit was funny.
There's a lot of racist characters growing.
Jesus.
But back to the Twitter thing is that like AEW fans I saw saying that how NXT is racist, the WWE is racist, Triple K instead of Triple H. It's like NXT pushes the most black wrestlers to prominent positions. There's literally one in AEW being pushed in Swerve. Like
Actually, 4 if you were going to get technical. Mercedes and then the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but that's not a narrative I'd go with because I don't see Tony being racist.
Tony,
because no,
I'm not saying Tony's
Triple
racist
H
at all.
is?
Not Tony's racist, but don't be throwing stones saying that NXT is racist when they literally push more black wrestlers in the main event spot than any other federation right now.
I mean, to be fair, how many black wrestlers in AEW are there that are ready to be in the main event spot? I mean, maybe Lashley, but I like
Lashley and Benjamin.
Benjamin's not main eventer.
No,
For-
maybe mid card, but like who's really black that they have that you can really push?
I mean, Knight's
He's
just
right.
getting
Every
there.
black person on AEW except for Anthony Bowens and Kevin Knight are heels, I think.
Well, maybe they're building Bowens. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Maybe they're building Bowens. I don't know.
Yeah, they're building them so much they put it on the pre-show.
They're gonna.
Well,
That's,
dude,
that's probably gonna be a marquee collision feud.
Well, dude, they had like fucking 30 matches for the pay-per-view. Oh, but you watched that, didn't you? Because it was free.
No, I didn't watch that either. Same thing. Watch the clips.
Fucking
If the wrestler wasn't on the pre-show.
fucking Mark. But he's quick to fucking post the ratings on Wednesday night.
I don't post ratings at all, actually. That's
Yeah,
kept.
It's been a while.
That's kept. We haven't even spoken about ratings for
Dude,
a
you
long
just posted them last Wednesday. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought that you posted them last
No,
Wednesday.
I haven't spoken about the ratings with. Usually, I would go with BT every Thursday and talk about the AEW rating, but I haven't spoken about the ratings at all in quite a
No, he
while.
hasn't- To his credit, he hasn't brought up the ratings since Shane joined in.
That's because he's too busy shitting on Shane.
I actually have not been. I've been very low
Hey,
key.
I mean, you might get. I mean, you might be able to WrestleMania Night 1.
That's fine. See if he actually shows up.
We are live
You,
next.
you know what I really think, Brandon? I really think that you just need a hug from Shane.
I'm good. I don't need a hug from the living troll though.
But
the living,
I got a question. I got a question for you. I got a question for you. I got a question for you. Have you ever been to Canada?
Yes.
Interesting.
Hmm.
But you shit on them.
Okay, I was
He's
like
never been.
8, but
He's
okay.
never been to. He's never been to you, but you've been to him.
Mm.
Hmm.
And why are y'all friends on Facebook if you hate them so much?
I don't hate anyone. See, I hate that word, hate. I hate. I don't hate
Patrick.
anyone. I
You
don't
just-
hate
you
AEW.
literally-
I don't
you
hate
literally-
Shane. I don't even hate freaking Isabel Terry, whatever her name is.
You literally said that
Patrick.
you do not like that guy.
Do not like, do not hate.
So
Hate-
if
I
you
don't
do,
put that much energy into someone I hate. I don't hate.
yes, you do. You put so much fucking
Patrick.
energy into him. You fucking lie, dude.
I don't put that much energy. I don't hate people to put that much energy into. I'm saying I don't hate. I don't have hate in me to put that much energy into a person to hate them.
I'm not saying hate. I said, but I have heard. So maybe you're right. You said you had not said hate, but for you to not like somebody, you're friends with them on Facebook.
I just got. I have 300 some odd friends on Facebook. 400 friends. You think I'm freaking talk to everyone and friendly with everyone?
You probably do. You probably put them all in the group chat. And say good morning, guys.
I
It's a
definitely do.
beautiful. You probably say good morning.
You're my friend on Facebook. BT's my friend on Facebook.
Half of them
Yeah.
are his own fake accounts.
If one gets banned, he goes from a backup.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a burner account, actually.
I don't have a burner account.
Mm-hmm. Just like Terry doesn't have one,
Log into
right?
mine. I can't even log into mine anymore.
You just create another one. I got like 3 or 4.
My actual account and my backup account, and then I had a burner one that I had to make because of fucking Duffy.
Because Duffy is a fucking piece of shit.
That was a piece of shit move, and I hope he's watching.
He was
really do.
earlier.
Shit.
You know what? I hope what's that dude's name that had that Duffy shit on his gimmick?
Johnny Cass.
I hope he makes it to WWE and Duffy just has to watch him be successful and shit and
No,
realize that he's shit on his
Bobby, I
career.
watched 5 minutes of that interview. He ain't going nowhere.
I did too. He cannot talk.
he ain't going nowhere.
Oh, he cannot talk. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
No, that was a what not to do
Oh,
in general.
Oh.
Calling out all his haters. We are live next Thursday for the WrestleMania 41 preview show, and then we are live after night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania next weekend. There is no show after that until May.
because I am not being a part of the draft show because the Dallas Cowboys are just going to draft a fucking lineman.
And then April 24th, I am live, probably with Dane, Reyes, and LJ and others for the NFL draft first round live discussion. 6 straight years of that shit.
I may join. Oh, I just lied. I
I
know.
honestly have no idea who's joining this year.
I didn't ask you. I said I may join.
I said you should.
I won't be here on May 1st. I'll be seeing Thunderbolts. So, but that doesn't mean you guys can't do a show if you want to.
Well, fine.
Oh my god, you sound like Duffy. He's trying to give us permission.
Right? Yeah, right. You can find some like wait,
Hey, you guys are allowed to do the show.
maybe we'll get Shane on here and like shit on you just for the hour.
That's fine.
No, I think honestly we could probably get Patrick at that time.
Let's try to get drunk, Patrick.
Next season is over at that time. He is coming back. He's going to be more active.
I still haven't seen him and Shane in the same place at the same time. I'm still thinking they're the same person.
I think I'll talk to you.
You know what? But you and Shane have been on the same page lately.
Yeah, you guys go out the same people.
Dude, because someone agrees with someone doesn't mean you're on the same page all the time.
Pretty soon,
Golly.
pretty soon they're going to be someone saying Brandon's going to be like indubitably Shane.
Absolutely.
Can be
That's
asking. Hey, Shane, what's your opinion, eh?
Listen,
Right.
I've just
What do you
I've just
think?
been keeping quiet because I don't want to bomb the chat and piss you guys and upset you guys because
They're
it's
both gonna
freaking.
start hating on women together.
Dude,
No, that's
I
one
don't
thing I'll never do.
dude, I don't
Broad, eh?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna let you in on something because I'm not sure if you're fucking aware of it. But when I fucking talk to Shane and I mention you in passing, I know that you're not gonna be able to resist. So I
I
just do
can
that.
resist.
I
I
do.
have resisted.
I do.
That's why I just use the emojis.
I keep
Didn't
going.
say nothing.
I keep going till you give in. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna keep going till you give in. Until you
I
say
know when you're
something.
trolling. He doesn't know you're trolling him, but I know when you're trolling.
I'm
That's
just.
why I use the laughing emojis on it. You tell me to grow up.
Oh,
I know what exactly what you're doing.
I got training for like the next 2 months, so I'm just letting you know right now. I'm just letting you know right now. There's gonna be a lot of boredom, so
I'll be prepared.
I legit have been thinking about ways to just bring up shit for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Yeah, he lost his whole way to get bored since he ran him out. McLovin.
That motherfucker, no, you ran his ass out.
I wasn't even there that night.
Dude, you fucking kicked him from being a fucking mod.
Oh,
Yeah, but he's more active in the group than he ever has been.
You're welcome. Well, you call it there. We'll be back next Thursday for the WrestleMania 41 preview show. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.